Hey guys, welcome to a new video by me. The last video I made was 2 months ago, I believe, in this apartment. I'm still in Japan. I'm teaching English privately at the moment. I've completely changed my lifestyle. I just wanted to try something new. So I'm teaching English privately to Japanese people, and it's going good. I'm enjoying it, but the reason I'm making this video is because I just want to offload some thoughts. I moved to Japan because I wanted to escape the thoughts that I had about this world. I wanted to escape the feeling of being responsible for this world. And lo and behold, turns out I can't escape that feeling. Temporarily, I had an escape. I came to Japan. It's a really original culture, full of tradition and indigenous people. I love it, and it made me feel like a visitor and a guest temporarily, even though I don't believe in nationalities, of course. I wanted to escape for a little bit and just sort of play the role of being a visitor, but now I've lived here for 2 months. I don't feel like a visitor anymore. Of course, I'm just a human like everybody else. But at least I got that temporary escape from the feeling of responsibility. But now it's back. So basically, there has been a lot of typhoons in Japan recently. There was a really big one in September, just after I arrived. And this was a huge slap in the face, just like a reminder of what's coming. I tried to escape the thoughts, but this just slapped me in the face. I was reminded that climate change is coming and the collapse of civilization is coming. The ocean temperature has warmed up a lot, and just today actually there was a mainstream news article, it might have gone viral, I'm not sure, but just today there was a news article saying that scientists have severely underestimated the temperature in the oceans. And of course, I'm just thinking like, no shit, Sherlock, right? Because even that's conservative. Mainstream articles are conservative with everything regarding climate change because they don't want to make people panic. But I've known this is coming for years. The ocean temperatures have risen a lot, and that's why the typhoon was so bad, and that's why Japan has had so many typhoons. That's why there's been hurricanes and tornadoes in America so severe. It's coming. Climate change is coming. Abrupt climate change is coming, and it's irreversible. That's the hardest thing to accept. When I first started thinking about all of this, I was maybe 17 or 18, just before I released my video called My Call for Humanity. That's when I gained a conscience, so to speak. That's why I made that video, because I realized what the world truly was, and I realized what was coming. I haven't been able to understand, even now, up until now, for years, I haven't been able to understand why people my age, people younger, people older, haven't had or didn't have the same realizations that I had when I gained a conscience. I've never understood why, and I will never understand why. It's mind-boggling to me. The only way I can describe my experience for the past 6 or 7 years is that I have felt severe trauma. Trauma for the entire human race and the animals on this planet. Because it didn't take me long to realize that this planet is doomed. I managed to convince myself for quite a while that I could change things and that humans could turn the ship around. I managed to delude myself into that thought process, which is how I had the motivation to make more videos. But the truth is, deep down in my heart, I realized that humans are going nowhere. Too many people are corrupt. The majority of humans are corrupt, make no mistake about that. I'm not being negative, that's just the truth. I've pondered that thought for years. And we can't turn this ship around. But I was convinced that we could for so many years. Maybe up until 2017, I was convinced that we could. And I deluded myself. But deep down in my heart, I knew that wasn't the truth. And so I felt intense, severe trauma, which led to anxiety attacks, very low self-esteem in social environments, utter confusion at the status quo and the way other people interact, like with ignorance, as if they're not aware of anything bad that's happening in the world. Sometimes I felt a bit of solipsism, like I was just by myself in this world because I couldn't understand how people don't see the reality. The point is, guys, sorry I'm rambling a bit, the point is that I felt trauma for years and it was undiagnosed. I didn't even know I was feeling trauma. I was depressed for years. And I still do get depressed sometimes, but I know how to handle it. I know that it's not my responsibility and I can't change things, and I've done what I can. If you're like me, which you might be because you're drawn to my channel and you're interested in what I'm saying, if you're like me, I want you to know that you are one of the good ones and you are not alone. Because it's sad. It is sad what's coming, right? And the truth is sad. Most people want to believe the lie and play the game. They're almost allergic to realistic thinking, which is commonly mistaken as negative thinking. We live in a world where we deny the concept of death and ignore it, and we're repulsed by it. And we live in a world where any form of realistic thinking, if it's negative, if it appears to be negative, is shunned. Most people want to delude themselves in this Pollyanna mentality of always thinking positive, right? If you don't think positive, you're a bad guy, you're a bad person, you're a bad woman. Like, if you bring anything to the table which is remotely negative, most people just don't want to hear it, or they want to change the topic, even if it's the truth. I'm not talking about just being a negative person. I'm talking about expressing the truth. And that's what I've been doing for years. I really strongly believe that. I'm not a perfect person. And of course, I have my own hypocrisies and my own delusions. But for the most part, I am very introspective and critical of myself. I'm very hard on myself. And I study my own behavior, actually. And for years, I've talked about the truth as much as I can because I know what's coming. In the past couple of months, we have seen, for the first time ever, mainstream news articles giving a hint of what's to come. The Trump administration has said that we have got until 2100 to stop climate change. 4 degrees Celsius by 2100. That temperature is catastrophic. That's the Trump administration saying that. Donald Trump doesn't even believe in man-made climate change. We have the UN who have said we've got something like 20 years left, or 12 years left, I believe it is actually, to fix climate change, to reverse climate change. This is all conservative, right? These are all conservative articles. We don't have any time left. There is nothing left we can do. It is already locked in. There is something like 8 billion people on Earth, and people are still having kids. Do you really think we can solve this problem? We can't. We cannot solve this problem. And I've known this for years, but only recently I've identified it. Only recently I came to terms with it, and I've had trauma for so long, depression, because I know what's coming. In the next 20 to 30 years, civilization will collapse, and the majority of humans will probably die. A large population of humans will die due to depletion of resources, ecosystem collapse. It'll be too hot, too cold, rising sea levels, migration. There's going to be wars, civil wars. It's so fucking sad. We live in the most severe time in human history where the biggest atrocities ever will happen. Ever known to man. This will be the biggest tragedy ever in the whole history of the human race because of climate change, because of human activity. And all those times I tried to tell people and they just bullied me or mocked me or shunned me, saying that I'm cringy or I'm too serious or something like that. All of those people won't be able to deny it anymore when shit hits the fan and it's right in front of their face. And there's a sense of relief that comes from that, actually. I'm not happy that this is happening, but it's a huge relief to know that people finally can't ignore it anymore. I don't really have much else to say, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.